Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fast Enthusiast. I'm Streetbackguy, your host, and this is the podcast where we candidly discuss speedrunning. Today, joining me is actually one of my oldest speedrunning friends, in fact. It is none other than the legendary SweedOla. Welcome on, Swede.
Hello, hello. Not legendary, I'm just sweet.
Well, I don't know. You are legendary in both the Dead Rising scene and also GDQ now for playing bad games, apparently. So, it's fine. It's fine. We'll deal with that.
I played Kong, that's about it.
Hey, you played Bad Way too. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I
So,
liked it. Surprising.
oh yes, it's a great game, and if any of you out there haven't played it, because honestly, you should go for it. So I guess we'll dive right into it. How did you actually get into speedrunning? Because I know you've been speedrunning for quite a few years at this point, but I never actually knew how you got into it.
So basically, it was just random YouTube algorithm. It was at the time when the Bioshock Remastered came out, and I think I was just looking at the audio diaries for the achievements, because I used to go for like a lot of achievements and shit. And what popped up was the HDQ 2014 Bioshock run by Blood Thunder popped up. And then I just watched it because I was like, it's playing it fast and just watching it because, you just see something and I was like, okay, watching it. End up watching it, and then that's kind of where I was like, oh, this seems kind of cool. And then randomly one day over my mate's house, I was just there like, I wonder if anyone wants to speedrun Dead Rising because we're just playing it. And then turns out there was a board and then people speedrunning it, so I just did it as a meme and then somehow stuck with it for like 8 years. And yeah.
Excellent, because I know one of your earlier games as well was Viva Pinata. Was that before or after Dead Rising?
After.
Oh,
Dead Rising was the first, and I kind of did the speed run back in January, and then I kind of didn't touch anything else, I don't think, or I didn't do any other runs or anything at all. And then I randomly joined the Discord, and I think that's stuck there for like 5 years or so until I did other things. But during that time, I did do Viva Pinata, because I think Paradox or Dalton was just like, hey, I want to speedrun Viva, and then Viva Pinata kind of happened.
I mean, we all have our meme games, so you know what? Viva
Oh,
Pinata.
100%.
Viva Pinata is not a meme though. It's serious business.
Dude, I'm just gonna say for now, I think at the time when me and Paradox started running Viva Pinata, it was this weird thing of working at the route and realizing that they didn't do things like get the variants or anything like that. So it was just like, we just spent a bit of like the weekend just rerouting the entirety of like the level 10 Gardener and all that. So in that time period, me and him both set the world records and got the time lower, and then I did the level 20 Gardener run, or Gardener run, whatever it's called, and did that one after. But yeah, VPNR is like a weird speedrun because it's like very much a micromanagement speedrun of sorts, especially the higher levels you go, because you got to do certain things to get certain pinatas, to get certain XP to level up.
Oh,
But it's a fun meme.
oh, definitely. I mean, I've even given it a shot at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Only the level 20 category though, because anything further than that, I must be insane, and I do not have that kind of time. But I have mad respect for people who do like all sorts of categories in Viva Pinata because, well, any micromanaging game really, because just having all of that to mind and remembering what to do, even with notes right there.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I know a guy who did VPinata has actually done the like max level speedrun or all awards or something like that. Like all pinatas or something. I don't know what it is, but it's like basically it's just like do everything in the game, and it did that in like 26 hours, like in a row.
Jeez, 26 hours.
Yeah.
Was that on console as well?
I believe so. Yeah.
The absolute.
It was just a
lad.
guy who I think it was during COVID time, and he did that.
Oh, the
I
absolute
think.
mad
I'm
lad.
not too sure, but yeah.
But yeah, COVID like makes people do crazy shit. So managing to do that run in general is just insane, especially when you got nothing better to do and can't really go outside that much.
Yeah, I mean it's long runs are just in general just taxing.
Oh yeah, so anyone who runs Bait and Kaitos 100%, you have my utmost respect. Because
Isn't that like the 300-hour speedrun or something?
yeah, that's a literal 2-week speed run, and all because you need to literally play.
Isn't it like you have to wait for a flower or some shit to like blossom, and it takes actual in-game time, like IRL time.
I can't remember exactly what it is, but from what I've read before, I think it is you literally have to play 2 weeks in order to evolve an item into shampoo or something stupid.
Again, you can't change the clock time until you've actually got the game run that time period. Like, it detects time changes shit, so you've actually had to play the game open.
Yeah, and like
That.
people who have streamed their attempts, obviously there's going to be parts where they literally just don't do anything, and they either sleep on stream or just play another game in the background while it's all going on, and it all counts.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to keep yourself occupied somehow.
Yeah, fair.
Excellent. And speaking of all these different types of games, like Viva Pinata and Basing Kaitos, what sort of game appeals to you the most and makes you want to speedrun it? Because I know you've been on a bad game kick recently, and you've been part of the Bad Run Club, actually, which is hosted by fellow Clock Tower member Garlips, who I had on the last episode. And yeah, it seems like you've been doing pretty well in there. How's that been going for you?
It's been fun. Like, I enjoy playing a variety of things, but it's just like my games at the moment just seem to be like the fun little craze. But honestly, it's just kind of anything that looks interesting to learn. Like, example being Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, because I watched Vicetra play that a few times, then I watched it live at ESA Summer 2023 when I went there. That looked really cool, and then picking up and trying to play it. It's really fun speedrun until you get to like some of the other little skips, like Romero, which isn't an annoying skip per se in that run. It's annoying because Romero can decide not to follow you at all and just do his own thing, like as normal AI do. But I don't know, like as game wise, like kind of just whatever looks cool or interesting.
Excellent.
In a sense, does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that makes sense. And considering Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines is an old ass like game as well, it's no surprise that the AI is finicky like that. So screw you, Romero.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help that the game as well, like, it's just overall just buggy. Like, the game will crash if you don't start a new character. So if you start speedrun straight away and you don't do the character creation thing, as soon as you go towards the I can't remember the name of it now. It's not the docks or anything. It's like the little warehouse area in the end of the first part of the game. The game will just crash on you.
Oh, is that the train yard?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because I remember snaking around the trains, and the way Vicetra did it when I watched his, I think it was a GDQ run of it. That was just mental to me.
Dude, like Vicetra is like insanely good at that game. Like, he's dedicated as all hell to that. I think he had every record in it at one point before they got the extra categories in, like all bosses and other stuff. But he got like all the world records in Vampire the Masquerade, and it's insanely chill, like speedrunning wise, because there's a lot of remembering like the numbers and stuff of what to do for dialogues. Because if you do the wrong one, you're kind of screwed.
Oh, I can believe that. If it's anything like, say, I want to say Fallout, because there are obviously a lot of dialogue choices in there, and I don't know the route for Fallout runs that much, but I'm assuming that it's button mashing as well for dialogue choices, but making sure you hit the correct ones at the same time. So
I think for Fallout, it's more just which ones you pick at the end, but I think majority of them don't really matter. But Vampire the Masquerade, like, especially with one of the people involved, I can't remember the name of them now off the top of my head because it's been so long, but it's when you do the go towards the elevator to do a skip there, you need to do the right dialogue options to basically make it so they're I can't remember that. You basically make so you get both the twins and she goes upstairs and stuff. And if you do the wrong options there, it just kills the run entirely because it doesn't allow you to do a glitch and stuff like that. So,
you gotta love run ending glitches, soft locks, whatever. The bloody lovely.
The beginning of Vampire Masquerade is like very reset heavy, and that's like insane to think about. It's like so much stuff you kind of got to do, but overall, it's a fun speedrun though. Can't complain.
Excellent. And what actually would you say is your favorite game to speedrun? And I'm just going to jump in right here and say, is it Dead Rising by any chance?
Kind of. I mean, I stuck with it so long because it was just ultimately just laziness. I didn't really fancy speedrunning other stuff. Like, I tried doing other things. Like, I did Crackdown 3 for a bit at the start, but then realizing for New Game Plus, I had to grind out all the agility orbs and all that stuff in the game, and it was just not really fun to grind to try and find them all, because looking at like maps people have made on like true achievements or things like that to try and get that stuff was not fun. So overall, I just stuck with Dead Rising because it was just something to do. But at the same time, it wasn't too difficult to keep speedrunning Dead Rising, if that makes sense. It was just you have variety and stuff. Obviously, you've had the time skips and stuff, and you've got the old bosses, and you have the Java port, you have the drop you dropped on the Wii, then obviously you got DR4 and has the mini golf and all that stuff. Like there's different ones, and each game is slightly different to go through and learn and do different things in a sense. So it's not just like DR1 movement, you got DR2's different because that's a lot harder of a run for new game, for example, compared to say DR1. Off the record's a lot more friendlier for speedruns because of the checkpoint system. DR3 is just open world trying to grind and wait for like 10 minutes if you want to, and then DR4 is just DR4 where it's just it does whatever.
Yeah, DR4 pretty much only mini golf matters. That's all we know.
True.
Excellent. But yeah, like the Dead Rising series, that's actually how I got into speedrunning. You might remember this. I joined the Discord, I think New Year's Eve 2019 or so, and I've been with you guys ever since. And I
feel sorry for you.
well, it's not like Stockholm syndrome. It's fine. but yeah, I'm still kind of trying to push the boat for Dead Rising wherever I can, because in my view, it's still an underrated speedrun series. And
oh no, it is.
Yeah, more people need to speedrun it in general. And like the people who are doing the most for it at the moment in terms of pushing it are definitely you and Igdisis, because the exposure of GDQ and ESA and all the other marathons that have been showcased Dead Rising game at, it's always been fun, and it's always good to have that exposure out there.
No, 100%. Like, honestly, it's not just me and pushing stuff. It's often like Pokey, who's recently done the like Case West and Case Zero time skips for console, which now enables those to be speedrun. Then you've also had people like Deebs and Hudson, Breaking Fuse, and everyone else who takes part. But obviously, DRs itself is like a very small thing. Obviously, you've got immobile people who have done certain things to push for it, but I think more people will run Dead Rising for a weird way. Like, the reason why Deluxe Remaster, I feel like, had more of an impact for like speedrun wise is not just because of it's got built-in time skip or anything like that, but also it's the fact that you don't need a mod to run the game. And I think a lot of people go, oh man, I want to speedrun Dead Rising, and ultimately say, yeah, we have got this, and it's just a mod, and people go, don't really want to run a modded category, which was what it was like back in when was time skip around? Like 2017? No, it was 2017? I can double check this.
I know it was before my time, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was 20. Let me have a look. Actually, I can find my run because I can get up here.
No worries. And one of the reasons why you looked that up, I think DRDR Deluxe Remaster actually got a huge boost when it released as well. Is oh boy, nostalgia hype for a lot of people, and plus a lot of speedrunners actually from the RE Resident Evil series actually jumped over too, because the game was built on RE framework. So in a way, it's very, very similar to how those games kind of run. Not in a gameplay standpoint, but kind of engine based. So I think they're a bit familiar with it, and having some of them on board and having their insight onto that as well has been really helpful for DRDR's development, which is always nice.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's always really chill. But also I have found like the quote-unquote first actual run of time skip that was done, and it was the 21st of September 2017.
Oh boy, it's almost
when
been 10 years. Oh my god.
No, 100%. It's weird. Yeah, it's weird to think that 10 years ago, Zuka had the idea of time skip and stuff, and it was like the kind of quote first run. But I think the overall first run itself would probably been like 2 or 3 days before, as just just see how this goes. And I believe that's when I got like the first time was like 41 minutes or 45 minutes. So it went like really slow, but it was like no routing. It was just like, well, let's see how this works, and it worked well enough. And then at the time, no one else wanted to run the category because it was a mod. Like the original guy who took over DR, Dawn of Solace, he didn't want to run it because it was a mod. Paradox, I convinced to run it because it looked kind of cool, and then from there, basically, it kind of just did its own thing, and where obviously everyone started doing more of it, and then more categories got made, like Psycho Skip got developed, and then all bosses, then all scoops, and then the infinite mode version got made, and all the other stuff kind of followed through. And it's quite weird to think that, like a few years ago, just me being bored, um, playing on my really old shitty PC, somehow I managed to do a run of the game and still record it, and it was crazy.
I mean, to be fair,
But
the original PC port isn't exactly the most demanding of games, but it's good that it's accessible for like people with lower end PCs as well.
yeah, I mean, back in the day, I remember when Guy started running DR. He was on like a MacBook, and it didn't run well. I think at one point, in order to do like, I want to run Dead Rising and like the time skips and stuff, he would run a mod with no zombies, and then even then the game would run at like 30 FPS
Oh
or
god.
something like stupid like that. It would not like his laptop at all, so he was just on console and stuff. That's when he was obviously doing all the bully and whatnot. But then I think Psycho Skip was something that he was able to run way back in the day. But then I think stuff from that changed. But yeah, it was I don't know, it was an interesting time. It's like 2017, like old DR days.
Oh, definitely. And then from Dead Rising 1 time skip, then offshot into Dead Rising 2 time skip, off the record time skip,
Mhm.
and it's crazy because now, just through that tool alone, or I say tool, through that mod alone, it's just
Mhm.
made it so much more accessible for speedrunning, which is always a great plus. And
Oh, 100%.
yeah, that I think there are other games actually that have had time skip mods made for them as well. I know one of the recent,
Shenmue.
one of the recent ones I was going to say was Shenmue, that Maxi Lopes just ran at GDQ.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he commissioned someone to make that mod for GDQ to get Shenmue in and stuff. And it's like, it's awesome to see. And it's like randomness of, it's like weird thing that, like, obviously it's just a modded category, but it's weird to think that it all started because I was really bored and stuff, and no one really wanted to run it because it's a mod, and it kind of spilled from there. And obviously all the things have happened with it and different parts and stuff, and obviously more people run stuff now, and obviously DR2 got time skip, and off the record not long after, and then DR3 technically has got a time skip, but it just removes the waiting in between. So technically, you could make a version of DR3 that spawns all the bosses and stuff like that for like an all bosses one, but at the same time, if you're doing all bosses, it's kind of just like keep the timer like there and running, I guess. But I don't know, it's all weird.
Oh yeah, because Dead Rising 3, the time is actually quite lenient, and by the time you travel from one place to another to get to a boss, usually they'll spawn by that time anyway. At least depending on your rating.
Yeah, like it's about 10 minutes of like in-game time on Nightmare to wait, or 3 minutes on normal. Like, I guess if DR3 technically you could have it so all bosses can be run on normal, but at the same time then it's like it's just quite boring. Like normal difficulty after you play like Nightmare for so long on that game, it's just like this ain't really that fun. It's just quite boring.
Oh,
Because
definitely.
everything just dies like one shot. And that's coming from me who runs New Game Plus of a lot of games, and I've only recently started learning the new game categories, which have been super fun.
Oh, excellent. And plus, like, even with the time skip being made for Dead Rising 3, I think the only category that it's actually decent on would be for story mode, and not like anything like all bosses, because again, keeping the timer going during all bosses would actually be a benefit. But in story mode, just getting rid of those waiting times is like, it's nice so that you don't just sit there, twiddle your thumbs.
Yeah, it's nice for New Game Plus. But New Game not. I mean, New Game as well. Yeah, but then again, New Game you use it to like get the items stuff you need during your like waiting sections. I'm pretty sure it's you basically farm levels and stuff and benefits you later on. And it also comes down to routing, how many zombies you kill, and timing and stuff to make sure you get back in time, and little management, which I guess makes it kind of more interesting. But
Yeah,
that's kind of my own tit for tat opinion.
I mean, there's definitely like room to explore that though, because I mean, not many people have actually done runs of it yet. Because you made the time skip, and I think only a few people have actually done runs with it. So we haven't exactly explored in the community like what's good about it and what could be
it's
done
also
with the
DR3. Like, it's not like the most favorable game in a weird way. I know there's like people who love Dead Rising 3 as like a speedrun. Like Smoke is a prime example of someone who really likes DR3, and he also did 4. He never played the originals. And there are people who just run Dead Rising 3. There's obviously people who prefer one game to another or anything like that. But yeah, it's kind of say it's like no one's really done anything with it, so it's just been there.
Yeah, and I still find it weird how Dead Rising 4 of all games is still more popular than Dead Rising 3 in terms of speedrunning. but that's probably because there's a bit more variety to 4 than there is to 3. So I can definitely see the appeal there.
Yeah, like I think with Dead Rising 4 compared to anything else, it is a game that you can physically speedrun. The only waiting sections are in like the last 2 chapters. There isn't anything else there at all that is just limits it, because you can do a lot with the game, and I think overall it's more appealing. Obviously, like the biggest meme happened of like mini golf, where it was just the whole spiel happened where Alu just out of nowhere just completely just you Alu and Texan just did massive things in mini golf, and it was just so funny because it was just that.
Well, I mean,
Like, it was
mini golf is serious business, Swede. You can't disrespect it.
It's the X quote of yeeting the ball, and it killed Texan
Yes,
from that Hotfix show.
Tex was very, very mad when he heard that. I'm not gonna lie.
It was funny.
It was super funny. But yeah, that was pretty good tangent. As you can probably tell, we have close ties because of Dead Rising, so we do tend to go on a bit about it. But hey, the more knowledge that's shared, the better, and hopefully it'll entice some more people to speedrun it, which would be great. Speaking of more people, actually, my next question I have down here: what other speedrunners do you watch and follow? Because I am aware of your lurking habits on people's streams and videos, so you might have quite a lot to pick from.
I mean, there's Ekdisis is like one I lurk in a lot in the mornings because he starts streaming about the time I wake up, so I can kind of get ready for work and watch his stuff. Like even when I was in university, he would be streaming, and I would like be just getting ready to go into university for the day, and then watch him. But a lot of streamers I do lurk a lot in, and it's the weirdest thing in the world because people don't realize the extent I lurk, and it's like a really weird thing to say. Like, yeah, I'm just always lurking in streams, but I just like vibing. Like, at the moment, I've been working in Gulch 2's. He's a Bioshock slash Necrovision speedrunner. Really chill guy. So I had a little bit of a chat with him at AGDQ. There's Vicetra. There's Alucard when he streams and stuff. There's yourself when you stream, or Texan's the main one I kind of lurk to, but not a lot because his stream times now on the weekdays are like 12 o'clock in the morning, so if I'm just awake, I'll watch for a bit and then go sleep again. But yeah, no, it's like it varies a lot from day to day, I guess, or time to time. But there's like a few people I do lurk in. Like, I think the main ones would be Ek, Alu, Texan, and Vicetra, like the main people I tend to lurk in. But now and again, I will probably lurk in someone like Halo, like Monopoly streams on Minister Monopoly, or other people's. It just kind of tit for tat, very varies, kind of what's on. I just look and go, this person's live, this looks interesting, and then I watch it, and that's about it.
Do you ever go on the streams tab on speedrun.com and just see, who's streaming? I guess I'll lurk in their stream today, see what this is about. No, you don't do that? Okay, just me then.
I have that disabled. I just don't like it, because for the longest period of time, it was just it was that speedrun challenge thing, like speed, whatever it was, like, I can't remember the name of it, but it was just a speedrun thing that was that for ages. And I just don't like this.
Oh, are you talking about the Moist Critical challenges?
No, not Moist Critical challenges. Those are fine. It was the other speedrun channel that was on SRC for so long, and it just got so just tedious to see. But then again, I don't tend to use SRC to find streams. I just look on Twitch and see what's there, type thing. Or I will follow someone, they might raid someone, and then I find them. Or it just might be because I talk to them at say GDQ or USA or somewhere else, and I'll lurk in their stream because they're quite chill if they do stream, and that's kind of that.
Oh, that makes sense. I guess speaking of Twitch, we'll just skip right ahead in the questions I have here. With Twitch bringing in the 100-hour highlight limit, what is your opinion on this, Swede? Because I have seen your highlights tracker, and it's nowhere near the 100 hours limit like mine, because I hardly ever stream. But do you think that Twitch bringing in this limit is going to be very, very detrimental to speedrunning in general? And
100%.
Excellent, because I would love to hear your thoughts about it.
Well, ultimately, Twitch should have a limit for that stuff, because you're in a day and age where there's a lot of people who are over this limit, but I don't think Twitch should delete the archives of people who are over the limit. I feel like Twitch should just stop anymore. You have to remove them, and they just keep them there and going. So it means that all the speedrun stuff is kept alive and well, but then people who are active on there now have the warning of, you have to remove stuff to re-highlight stuff. And obviously there's a few people like Froob and Ecdysis who are quite have a lot on there, and there's other channels like Blood Thunder had like 500 hours, I think, or something like that. And there's a lot of people who have over the range, and I feel like it kind of is awkward because you got channels who might be like 13 or 15 years old who haven't streamed at all, but because they had these really old archives on Twitch, it's one of those things where that'll be lost forever, because it's like people will lose them and stuff and be like, why it's not here, because Twitch deleted it because they're like 101 hours or something. But it's stupid, but end of the day, it's like, it's business. It's if you think about like content on Twitch, you got people now who are like kiting out, who are doing like 500-hour long streams of games and stuff, and obviously streaming at like 1080p or 2K or like really high ass quality, and that's like a lot on Twitch's like hard drive and server side. So it's just like, for Twitch it's understandable, but from kind of the user perspective or speedrun side anyway, it's kind of like painful. But I mean, I get it from Twitch. It is what it is. It's business. They need to make money, and if they can save costs on storage from like hard drives and VODs, more power to them. At least they're kind of given somewhat of a warning and not just gone, oh yeah, I've got this 100-hour limit. Now all these VODs are gone. Bye bye.
I mean, I also understand them bringing in the limit, but 100 hours is nothing. If it was something a bit more reasonable, like say 300, then that could be a bit better. But at the same time, it's not ideal for, let's say, people who speedrun and don't really export their videos to YouTube or download them locally, or
record locally.
Yeah, that exactly. And people who just have old world records, PBs, runs they're proud of, etc., just as a highlight on Twitch, that could be lost to history. And that's not good at all. And if you think about what I mentioned earlier, baiting Kaitos 100%, that would not be around if it wasn't for Twitch, I think. I think it was... Nope. Was it Twitch or Justin TV it was on? I can't remember.
I think it was Twitch, because I mean, they redid it on Twitch, but it was also, I think, Justin as well. But it's also like another community that's affected by it is like the COD zombie community when it comes to like the high rounds and stuff, because a lot of people don't want the time to upload their high rounds onto YouTube, because YouTube has their like hard cap of like 12 hours, I think.
I think it's 12 hours. 24 hours, maybe? I don't know. I know maybe. It's something stupid, but yeah. Yeah,
because I wasn't too sure, because I'm there like, there's only reason why my Marathon Rising never got uploaded to YouTube, which is still on Twitch, but it's because ultimately it's just what's now? I just didn't know the limit. Maybe it might be because YouTube partners get a higher limit or something like that, and non-partners don't, or whatever. But it might be something I might look at and see if I can upload it as it is.
Yeah, that makes sense. And plus, it's not fair on games whose any percent runs are like multiple hours anyway, like over 5 or 4. Like quite a lot of the Yakuza speedruns are over 3.5 to 5 hours roughly. And if you're doing multiple of those on streams and you say them as highlights, as PBs or whatever, if you're over the limit, bye PBs. So
yeah, that will dig up like so much.
Oh, definitely. And then there's also stuff like I think Marvel Spider-Man. I think 1 and 2 any percent are quite long as well. So if you're doing multiple runs of those, then those PBs can just vanish into thin air as well. And it's definitely not good. And I hope Twitch is actually listening to the feedback that not just the speedrun community, but the general Twitch community and online community is saying in general. Because it shouldn't go ahead.
It's dumb. No, it shouldn't. But because I don't really have an issue. I think having the cap on there, sure, but just saying we've got this cap now. It might go up to like 250 hours or something like that. But overall, we're not gonna let it go up anymore. But we're not gonna delete stuff. It allows people to keep highlights or put them to other content sections, or even just offer an option for people to buy more storage on their accounts. I'm pretty sure people would pay like a one-time payment to have, say, 1,000 hours or something like that, or just to have it. I'm pretty sure people would buy it because, if it's like a one-time payment and people would pay for that shit because it's like extra. It's an easier sense of keeping stuff on a area secure. It's not just like on a hard drive and a hard drive dies. If it's on Twitch, then they keep stuff backed up and obviously it's all there and stuff. But yeah, it's shit.
Plus, Twitch is an Amazon-owned business, so they are business minded. So the only reason they're probably doing this again, as we mentioned earlier, is storage costs for all these highlights. Sure, if you have unlimited highlight storage, then that could rack up loads and loads and loads of costs. But even just putting a hard limit on as low as 100, that won't save you that much money. That will just piss everyone off. And
yeah, but if you think, as I say, like 5% of all Twitch users is probably what they're after. But if you're on about like people who actively use it, like not everyone on Twitch streams, and that's the thing people kind of got to kind of remember with Twitch, is that not every person who makes a Twitch account will stream on the site, and not everyone will use the highlight features. I think Ray showed a screenshot of his one, and it was like 0 hours because all his stuff's like kind of on YouTube anyway. And he just made the joke, so going, selling Twitch highlight space, best offer gets it, whatever.
Yeah.
And you got to think then, like, realistically, not everyone's using it. Yeah, there's like people who use it a lot, but it's. I mean, it is also just shit.
I think he did that, and he's not a speedrunner, but this is still related. I think he does that mainly because of DMCA fears as well, because streaming is his main source of income, and obviously he has a side business with his merchandise company with his wife. But at the same time, he also has a Patreon now, so some of the stuff that can't go as a Twitch highlight or on YouTube, let's say for copyright or DMCA reasons, he just puts up on Patreon and it's fine. So yeah, and like what you said earlier, I totally agree. If Amazon did offer an opportunity to buy the option to get more storage on your highlights, that would actually be a pretty reasonable, I would say, option, because there were quite a lot of people who actually make their living off of Twitch, and just having those extra bits of storage time, my grammar's completely out the window, but I don't care. But yeah, having those extra hours of storage could make the world to someone who literally is doing Twitch as their job, no matter what.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was a fun news section, wasn't it?
That was a fun tangent.
Oh, well, that wasn't even it was a tangent. It was more of a rant, really. But, hey, I told you we're going off the cuff, man. This is what happens whenever we get into a conversation.
True.
I guess going back to the structure now, very professional podcast, I promise you. Any upcoming games that look exciting to you? Not just in terms of speedrunning, but any that just look fun to you and you can't wait to play them when they're released?
I don't keep track of new releases. It's the nicest way possible putting it. Like, I know there's new Fable in development, which I love Fable. It's one of those games where I just I'll try it. It's there. But end of the day, it's like I'm not overly fussed on newish games at the moment. Most because I kind of don't really keep up with them. I mean, there's like one I think got shown at one point that looked kind of interesting coming out. It's cool. Let me just try and find it. Revenge of the Savage Planet. Look kind of cool.
I've heard about that.
Discord.
Yeah,
it just looks goofy. That's all.
Yeah, there was one that was shown off at the Game Awards, I think it was, and it was this claymation style thing, and that looked really interesting. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like a Midnight Walk or something. But
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know why it just really captivated me, the way it was styled.
Yeah. I mean, the only other game I could think of that coming out wise that I'm gonna look at my Steam wish list because I can put them on there is like Subnautica 2, because that'll be kind of interesting to see because it's coming out in 2025.
I forgot that was coming out.
Interesting. Yeah, there's that, and that's something that's interesting me because it is just a case of if a game looks cool, I'll tend to pick it up. I just won't pre-order a lot of stuff nowadays because most of the times pre-ordering's early access and it's just not really great.
Yeah, it's not the best mindset, but I'm very guilty of pre-ordering games when it's one of the franchises that I know and love, and I can trust it to be quality. Like literally 4 days ago at this point, 3 days ago, whatever. Pirate Yakuza came out. I have 100%ed it as of this morning, and I pre-ordered it like months ago because I was super excited for it. I was the same with Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster too, because, well, technically you got that for me as payment for UKSG hotel room thing, but
Yes.
yes, we're good friends. Yes. But yeah, that pre-order was worth it as well, because even though it doesn't run that well on many people's PCs, on my rig it was fine, and it was still a good game nonetheless. Obviously, you got people like Pokey in the Dead Rising Discord who's like, "Oh no, it's shit. The original's better." Blah blah blah. But I don't know. It's still got a soft spot in my heart, that game. But unless you can trust the franchise and the look of the game and the info that the devs are giving you pre-release, definitely don't pre-order if you can help it.
Yeah, again, like I say, like a franchise, like DR, I pre-ordered the deluxe edition because it was just like, what, I'm Dead Rising, fan. I enjoy it, and I don't mind giving the extra money for the extra cosmetic-y stuff. Like, not really access date to play it, and it obviously launched, and I was like super happy that got it, played it, and it was like I enjoyed it. I think it took me like 2 days of playing through and just obviously completing it like to 100%. But that was fun.
Oh, definitely. Like, again, depending on if you trust the developer and the game franchise itself, just when the game releases that you've already paid for and downloaded, just playing through it that initial time, that's when you sink the most time into it, and it's just so good. It's just like that wave of relief washes over you that you're like, oh, I can relax now. I can relax with this game that I've been hyped for so long. It's so good.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, excellent. But yeah, that was the end of my structured questions at the moment. So I'm not sure if there's anything you want to talk about in the world of speedrunning Swede. Are you planning to go back to GDQ at all in the next year or so?
Planning to go to SGDQ. I know Texan wants to go, and I know Froob and all that stuff people I was with, like a lot of the horror guys there, like Gam Ezekiel and stuff, probably going as well. But I'll probably go, try and get a run in, because it is just a case of justifying the costs of going out there, which is the most awkward thing about flying out to GDQ. Like, it's like it was like I think I spent 1,500, 1,600 just on hotel and flights and stuff.
Yeah, because from the UK where we both are, it's very expensive, and I think Juho as well, because he's from Singapore. I think it's also very expensive for him. Like,
it's expensive for that regard, because it is a lot of money to fly out. Like, any trip from Europe to America is overall expensive. Like, I got quite lucky because I kind of took a risk with an airline called JetBlue, and that was good. Like, they were really well, and I was like a bit scared because it's like, £800 to fly, for the trip, fly to America and stuff. And I was just there like, would it be good? Would it be bad? And, it was mixed and all that stuff. And I was there like, okay, no, it's, a pleasant experience. Like, had a good time. But probably, I don't know. Don't want to deal with some in for it, though. But I'll probably go, again.
Yeah, excellent. And you can meet Tex again if he goes, because I think he's planning to go as well next time.
Yeah, he's going for SGDQ. I think I don't know if he was going to want to go to HGDQ, but I think the hotel choice was not the best there. But it was more just Texan wants to go. I think because he wants to see the guys and Joe of Nally and stuff, which, it's a great experience. Like, GDQ is like in person events compared to, say, online events in a weird way. Are like so much. It's more of a chill vibe, because when it comes to, say, in person, obviously, if you're going just for to watch the runs, like in person, like that's what you want to do, you're kind of wasting your time, because that's not what kind of people do in the nicest way possible. You are wasting money because you can just watch it on the just Twitch at home and be comfy. But when it comes to just like performing runs live is different to in person compared to online, has its benefits and disadvantages, but you've also got the chill atmosphere of people's. Because I think back when we went to ESA summer 2024, we did an escape room with Tali, Texan, and Aishma, which was super chill.
We did, yes, and we actually beat it with about 10 minutes to spare, I believe. I've got the picture on my phone, but I can't bother to look. But we did a really good time in there.
Yeah, I know we had a good amount of time, and that was like good fun. But like a large part of it is just a large part of these events are like the social aspect of meeting peoples and stuff. But I mean, it's obviously that aspect.
Yeah, that's like the main bonus point of those, aside from the charity, which is obviously very important. Yes, it's very important, very wholesome, but at the same time, getting to meet people that you otherwise would not have the chance of meeting is incredible. Like for me, it was the first time meeting Tex and Tali and Aishma in Sweden in ESA summer, and yeah, it was just a great time overall. I'm very happy with the time I spent there, and I would be happy to go again at some point.
Yeah, it's a good chill time. Because you do meet people, and obviously you can chat to people. Like I remember when I went to ESA summer 2023, the first time, like actual first in-person event, I had ideas and plans of like meeting up with one of my Swedish mates as well. So kind of things in between. But I spent a fair bit of time with Vicetra and stuff, and I think overall, like Vi kind of drank way too fucking much, which happens at these events. If people wonder that, people are drinking a lot, and that's kind of the main thing. But I remember Vicetra drank so much, but he just felt like shit and really wasn't eating food. I remember at one point I was always bashing him, going, "Hey, come get food." And at one point, I think I was just saying to him, "Motherfucker, let's go get some food," because I just haven't seen him leave his room. I think he was just like really fucked. But it's also like he was around like a lot of the peoples there, like the Mirror's Edge people and all that stuff, who drink a fair bit as well. So it's like that doesn't really help when you're around people who drink a lot, and it's like, ah, shit.
Oh yeah, definitely. But, and it's good on you for looking out for him though, because I've definitely been there where you get so drunk you miss eating, and it's like, yeah, we could talk about it. Yes, it's fine. We just a fun little anecdote, which isn't really an anecdote. But in Sweden, me, Tex, and Swede all went down to the hotel bar where the event was at, and we had a good time socializing. I ended up getting too drunk, and I ended up falling in a bush.
You didn't fall in a bush per se. Like, what basically ended up happening is that you just drank a lot of beer and stuff, and you're like, I'm fine. And it was like, okay, like, sure, just drink water. I'll drink water when I feel like it. I was like, motherfucker, drink water. And you're like, I had like a little sip of water. See, I drank water. Now I drink beer. It was like, oh, for fuck's sake. But then,
to be fair, I am blaming the vodka shots though, because I did not realize.
Yeah.
I did not realize those were vodka.
Yeah, but then what ended up happening was we're just all drinking beer and some of the ESA drinks, and then there's people doing the walk, but then neither was meant to join them on the walk like they did, but she missed. They didn't really wait for it as much. She's like, oh, I'm going on a walk. Fuck it, let's do shots. And then it was just doing shots and stuff, and then everyone just did vodka shots, and H was kind of being smart, going, no, I'm not doing vodka. He's like, that will hit you like a truck. And I remember it was like everyone taking shots and all that stuff, and then you were just drinking a lot of beer, and then you just wandered off to the toilet, and then just casually walk into the toilet, and then I think I was talking to Star or someone, and he goes, I think Street's gonna throw up in the toilet. And he goes, oh, go check on him. So I go check, and I just see Street, you okay? I was like, oh god, now I'm gonna get you back to the hotel room. And then it was just the fact of you power walk when you're drunk, and it was like you almost like try to throw up again. I was like, all right, it might be best trying to puke in this bush, because I don't think on the pavement's a good idea. And then you managed to hold it in, and you just back to the hotel room, and then you just lie down, and then you just looked at me. I was like on the edge of the bed, and you just looked. I said, "You good, dude? You're not gonna throw up again?" I'm good. Fast asleep. This really loud story happened. I'm just there waiting to make sure you're fine, and then I go back and get Texan because he's also drank a fair bit. But then it was like me being like helpful while being somewhat tipsy, because I remember I just after a few vodka shots, like the one or two of them, I just couldn't really walk straight. I was like, fuck. Yeah. Like, this is like the most I've been.
Those vodka shots are lethal, so I'm not surprised. I don't remember like heaving in the toilets though. I think I was just like going
Yeah.
normally, but it was a messy night. Let's just say that.
You can tell you got drunk because you started shilling out your load removal services.
I mean, drunk street does what drunk street wants. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it was that, and it was there. There's also the fact it helped that it was on a Wednesday night, and your alarm clock for 6 a.m. went off.
Yeah,
and it was just me trying to turn off your phone. So I just tap you on the shoulder, going, "Street, can you do me a favor? Can you turn off your fucking alarm? Thank you." And I went back to sleep. I was like a right old grump the next morning, and I remember like lashing out at you, like, because you bought me a coffee shake, and I was like, "Dude, no, I bought my own one. It's fine." Like really grumpily, "No, I'm buying you one." I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, I said not to." And then I went to sleep, and then you guys did bloody Lego Harry Potter Battle for Hogwarts.
It's because I felt bad in the mall, so
I
was
felt
like
bad about it.
Yeah.
But then I was just like really grumpy. I was just like, I didn't sleep like at all. Because like, the alarm woke me up at 6 a.m, and I'm just like going, for fuck's sake, I went to bed like 2 hours ago.
In my defense, I completely forgot that I had that alarm set for work. So it was my fault for not turning it off while I was on holiday.
True. I'm glad I didn't have my alarms on.
Oh, yes, and I am making sure to turn them off at UKSG next time.
I mean, it'd be like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so it's fine.
Oh, definitely. But I guess with that lovely tale over and the utter embarrassment and hit to my shame and ego, that will do it for this episode of Fast Enthusiast. Swede, is there any shout outs you want to do? Any place where people can catch you and your content?
I mean, usual stuff, or just twitch.tv/SweedOla, same on YouTube. Occasionally be lurking in random streams, but that's about it. There's really no other shout outs or anything, just those. But yeah, that's about it.
No worries. And a shout out from me to the Dead Rising community again for being gracious hosts and putting up with me for close to 6 years at this point. More than 6 years. God, I'm old. Anyway,
I feel.
Hey, you're younger than me. Shut up. But yeah, thank you again, everyone, for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know down in the comments who you would like to see in a future episode, and I might reach out and see if we can get them on. And next episode, I have someone planned, but I'm not going to reveal who yet. But trust me, it'll be a good one if they agree to come on. But now, once again, thank you very much, everyone, for listening. This has been Streetbackguy. I've been talking with SweedOla, the legendary Welshman, and I will catch you all in the next episode, and I hope you have a lovely day.